Hey, let's see here. Let's get if we can get that adjusted. Ah, crash, boom, bam. So let's get Sammy. Though Tammy's over on Instagram. Hello. All right, got too many things going here. I don't know if we're gonna get this one to work or not. This this may be challenging. Here we go. Susan out of California. Roxanne, hello. Let me get Instagram fired up. So just for fun, this is a lot of people say that Instagram is the better audio. So Facebook uses this. This is Facebook audio. Um, this is Instagram. So let's get Instagram rolling here. So we go live and live on Instagram. Cool. All right, took me a second to get everything squared away. I think we got everything going. So it looks like Facebook's there. All right, cool. So let's see what I missed. Tammy, you're on all of them. Tammy's over on Instagram, and then she's everywhere. You were on Twitter earlier, weren't you? I mean, not weren't you? I knew you were. So cool. All right. So Susan, these are my Christmas pajamas. So it's a Christmas show. So we're in Christmas pajamas. Why not? you know? Defiance. Hello, Pat. Hello. No sound, Tammy? Instagram says no sound? Carrie over on Facebook. Very fun. Vicky. Hello. Deb out of Northwest Indiana. Hello. Trying to figure out why Instagram says there's no sound. Is there really no sound on Instagram? Everyone else got sound. YouTube's got sound. Twitter's got sound. Facebook has sound. Kansas City, Terry's checking in. So, yep. So, yeah, it's a holiday show. You know, right? So, we do. I was sitting here. I'll be honest with you. What happened is I came home from work. So everyone in my house has been ill, and so yeah. Dan says no sound on Facebook, and then he turned the volume up. Ding, ding, ding. That always helps. Anyway, so everyone in my house has been sick. Not everyone, but my daughter's been sick, and my wife's been in the hospital. So we've been in hospitals and sick, and I think I'm coming down with a cold. So I came home from work feeling and decided to just throw on my pajamas around 6 o'clock, and I've just been kind of lounging ever since. A huge shout out to my amazing mother-in-law. She's here cooking dinner and taking care of all the things that none of us feel like doing. So what a huge help that's been. So cool. Episode 150, which is coming right up, which is very cool. David's here. Julie says Merry Christmas from the Bay Area in California. Hello. Let's see what else. Yeah, Alicia was sick on Sunday, and the dog is dead. So I feel, for the most part, okay. I'd got a little bit of a sore throat. We'll see how that plays out, talking for 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, so here's what's cool about these Christmas pajamas is I got these last year, mediums. And so this is like the first year I've ever been able to wear Christmas pajamas that I got for Christmas the year later. Usually I'll lose enough weight before Christmas and then get new pajamas, and then I'll gain weight all summer and not be able to wear them. So this is a new thing. So, I know, Kim. Well, Kim, so Donna's out riding her bike. Kim says, can't believe we're at episode 150 already. Kim, I know, and if you think about it, though, I mean, if you look at, like, when I first started, it was pretty much 5 or 6 days a week, and now it's 2 or 3 days a week, and maybe 1 day a week, depending on the week. So, obviously, a lot going on, for sure, but I think there's enough of a backlog where we don't need to do it daily. You need to check in daily, right? That is for sure, because you need to keep that level of accountability going. But so Hildy's checking in from Cleveland. So tonight we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, live on 4 devices tonight, just to see. I'm really trying to figure out which one works the best. I know a lot of you like Facebook, and Facebook is my preferred. But many of you have said that Instagram is your preferred because you're just not on Facebook. So that is the deal there. Let's see what I got. Jamie says, hitting you 40 pounds on Saturday after the first week on freestyle. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Angie, yep, caught it live. So, so go to fatdag.com, click on the event tab. I update that, and we're going to talk about this during the show. The number one way, if you want to know when I'm going live, the number one way, which I finally figured out to be the most consistent, is through Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, it really is painless to sign up, and you only need to follow one account. Follow the WhysAdvice account. I don't push much out through that other than the alerts for the calendar. So it tells you anytime I add a show, you'll get an automatic alert if you set up the notifications. Anytime that I 15 minutes before the show, it reminds you, and then when the show goes live, it reminds you. So if you want to know when, you don't want to miss it, then Twitter is the number one way. It costs you absolutely nothing to get an absolute push notification through Twitter. And like I said, you can set up an account and only follow just that one and not even use Twitter, but you'll at least get that one notification from that. I think you'll find once you get in there, you'll probably like Twitter. If you like Connect, you'll like Twitter as well. So Twitter is the easiest way. So follow WhysAdvice over on Twitter to get the live alert. So we started off doing a text notification, and that was just costing way too much money on my end. And so I had to push that cost over to you. And then I figured out a way to do it for nothing through Twitter. So a handful of you out there still get the text notifications. So cool. Welcome to those of you who do that. Other than that, we're rolling. So Leah's in here checking from Texas. So Instagram alerts you and Facebook alerts you. Twitter will alert you when I create the event. So like this afternoon, I said I was going to do the show. And so when I put that in the calendar this afternoon, Twitter let you know this afternoon there would be one tonight. And then Twitter automatically gives you a 15-minute. I think Facebook now gives you a 15-minute. And then Twitter gives you a live. Anyway, way more than you needed to know. So very cool. So Nikki's checking in from New Hampshire. Let's see what else is going on. Ruby out of North Carolina. Very cool. Marietta, Georgia. Jennifer's checking in. Good evening. Happy Hanukkah, says Ellen. Completely agree. Happy Hanukkah. So episode 150, got a lot to talk about. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about freestyle. I put on Facebook before the show, I said, tell me what it is you want to talk about. A couple people asked about freestyle. A couple people asked me, for a meal plan. And if you followed along at all, you'll know that meal plans and I do not get along. If you want to follow my meal plan, you'll absolutely lose weight because you won't be eating enough food. You'll hate everything you eat because you'll get so tired of eating Subway and Chick-fil-A every single day. So I won't probably never give out a food plan. And if I ever, I'm working with some folks who help me with the blog, and one of them in particular does amazing work with food. Not my game, so I bring in someone because I know in this journey you want ways to be creative with recipes, right? So we found someone who knows how to do some stuff with food. So you'll start seeing more and more food posts on the blog. Again, fatdag.com, click on blog, and then eventually that'll start going. But anytime you see a post that talks about food, you can be 100% certain that I read it, but not that I'm following that. So, it comes a point when you gotta branch out to, there's an area in this thing that I don't have any passion for. And so that is the food side of it. I'm pretty routine in my food. Subway for lunch, Jimmy John's for lunch, Chick-fil-A for lunch, Banana Quest Bar for breakfast, and dinner is a random, there's about 10 different things I'll have for dinner. But outside of that, I could, everything I eat, you could purchase at one trip to the grocery store and be done with it. So anyway, so that's the deal there. Let's go ahead and Jill says she's checking in close to PA. Very cool. Real quick, before we get going, Instagram, can someone on Instagram just tell me if there's sound or not on Instagram? Before I want to just make sure you do. Carrie, I'm at the 25-point range per day is what I get. And then if I add in my fit points and my rollovers, that works as well. Phoenix, Chris is checking in from Phoenix. Hello to you. Thank you for being there. Cool. And then sound on Instagram. So cool. So yeah, we're really, so let me know which one you like best. So again, we're on Facebook, Instagram here, Twitter here and YouTube here. So it's a little bit of a coordination, trying to get everything going on. Um, so let's see. Andrew says your what's it say? Anyway, your pet, I guess, comes to lay on you when Mike's on. She's right up here by the phone. That's fun. Very fun. Fun. Cool. All right. So cool. Looks like sounds on Instagram. So let's go ahead and roll through here. Get episode 150 in the books. Cat. I was wondering what the word was. I was like, I don't know what that word is. So Michelle says Philly's in the house. Like Facebook the best. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do. This is you guys. The thing that let's get real quick. You guys, I love it when you thank me. You really, it makes me feel good. But let's be real about the reality of what we're doing here. Is this is a community. We go back and forth, and so without you, it doesn't exist, and without me, you would find something different. So it's all good, And so I'm obviously glad to do it, but don't discount the fact that you're here checking in on a Monday night, a week before Christmas, right? That's what makes this work, And so I could be doing this show on a Monday night before Christmas, and everyone else would be working on Christmas. You guys are working on you, which is what again makes it work. Ellen is munching on an apple at 0 points. Deb, great team. I agree. So, all right, are you ready for 150? Let's do it. I should get my Santa. Should I get my Santa glasses and my Santa? Excuse me, my Santa glasses and my Santa hat. Should I do the show with Santa on? I don't think so. We'll see. Mic check, testing 1 2. Hang on, YouTube people. So, interesting thing about not being prepared to do this with too many devices is my YouTube crashed. So, one more phone in the mix here. So if this doesn't work, I'm running out of tripods. That's my real issue. I need more things to hold my devices up. I think we got that rocking. So in the middle of the show, if for some reason Twitter and YouTube fall down because I didn't get a tripod for them yet, I'm going to let them die and then switch over to Facebook. Facebook is mounted on a beautiful tripod. It's not going anywhere. Instagram mounted on a beautiful tripod. It's not going anywhere. After Christmas, maybe I'll have a tripod for Instagram and YouTube as well. All right, so let's do... There, is that better? Leanne, first time here. Very cool. All right, mic check, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. All right, here we go. Episode 150. Cheers. I love, love, love water. So anyway, so yeah, so again, I'm in my Christmas pajamas because it's Christmas time. I came home from work, a little bit of a sore throat, not feeling exactly perfect. So I changed into my pajamas around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock or so, and just rocking it. So episode 150. Green. You like green? All right. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 150 of Wise Advice. And got a couple announcements and just kind of updates I want to give you before we get too far into the episode. A lot's going on, so just take a minute to grab a pen or take some notes or just listen mentally. But I want to kind of give you some updates. So a lot of folks ask, hey, Mike, Fat Dag, when are you going live and when will we know? And what I found is the number one way to alert you that I'm going live is through Twitter. Follow Twitter at WhysAdvice. As soon as I decide I'm going to do a show, I put the tweet out there. If you have notifications set on the Wise Advice channel in Twitter, you'll automatically get notified that I'm going to do a show. And then it auto tweets 15 minutes before the show, auto tweets at the start of the show, so you'll never miss a live episode if you're following along on Twitter. If you don't catch the show live, of course, you can catch it anywhere you can find a podcast. Very excited today. I found out we're going to be released on Spotify. So predominantly the Android market attacks the Spotify app very well. So if you're an Android user and you don't have the Wise Advice with Fat Dag app, shame on you. But if you don't have that, you'll be able to find the Wise Advice with Fat Dag in Spotify. Give me about probably another day or two for that to get published out there. But when it does, all of the previous episodes will be released out in Spotify. But for sure, if you don't already, go to your app store, the Google Play Store, get the Wise Advice with Fat Dag app. I believe that's the best way to listen to the show. Outside of that, if you've been following on Facebook and Twitter, you'll notice that we run the show pretty much ad-free. Nokia Health jumps in every once in a while, helps me out with some of the cost. But predominantly, it's user-driven. And so I do that through Patreon. And if you follow that along, you'll notice that Patreon made a decision not long ago where they were going to increase the rates to the subscribers. And the whole podcast community jumped up in arms. And it was actually really cool. And my hat's off to them at the moment because they completely reversed their decision because it was absolutely not at all in favor of the listener. And, us creators who do podcasts and who do creative stuff, we rely on you for the support. And so when they made that decision that was that would kind of hurt the listener, it was just absolutely crazy. And they went back and reversed that decision. So you can go to Patreon. The link is in the show notes. You can provide some support to the show if you're so inclined. But there's no free access, no special access. It's just your way of saying thanks. Last but not least, in the advertising realm, as you know, I started a nonprofit. Operation Fat Dag is going to be a nonprofit corporation. We're working to get a 501c3 approved charity so that any donations you make to Operation Fat Dag will be completely tax deductible. I got a great team of folks. OperationFatDag.org is the website for that. You can start following along our progress. But we've assembled about a 19-person panel or board, whatever you want to call it at the moment, all working together to figure out the best way to kind of take care of me before I knew I needed to be taken care of. And so that's going quite well. But one of the things that is really instrumental in that is the podcast host that I use, Libsyn. Shout out to them. They finally brought the podcast into what's called the Interactive Advertising Bureau's standard for guidelines, meaning um, that when the shows, podcast in general, when people are out there listening, it's important for us to let the advertisers know how many people are listening so they can kind of gauge the value of the audience and that type of thing. What I plan on doing with that data is now that I can have some real measurable data and we fall in line with those guidelines, is now I can do some ad revenue that I can divert into the nonprofit to keep the nonprofit going. So any advertisers that I do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divert part of that income into the sustainment into the nonprofit, so that that thing continues to have a steady revenue stream. And I think we can do quite well with your support and your help. So that is all from the update world. So again, Spotify is a, is an Android app. Sorry, it's a multi-platform app, but predominantly, the Apple users, if they're not in the Apple Podcast app, they're usually in an app called Overcast. That's probably one of the better podcast apps. And so the Android market uses Spotify to listen to podcasts. But of course, you guys all know, get into the WhysAdvice with Fat Dag app. It's way better to go there. 2 more days left. If you're hearing this on the 18th of December, the 19th of December, on 20 December, the promo code DAG20 ends for the Nokia Health Body Cardio, the Body Plus scale. You guys have been phenomenal. We've sold out on the Body Cardio Plus because of the promo code, or it's just amazing response to that. So thank you for that. That is complete. There's just none available. So Christmas season and a little bit of push to get it out there. You guys took care of that. But if you want a scale for Christmas, you got about a day to get it. Use the promo code DAG20 to save 20%. That's all the updates. Thanks for hanging in with me for that. I want to make sure we got that out. Let's roll into episode 150. Here we go. You ready? So it says, Dear Mike, sir, my wife has recently started listening to your blog and began her journey. Her name is Carrie, and I heard you read her email on Monday's show. I just want to reach out and say that I appreciate all that you do and that you've inspired her to make and maintain a healthier lifestyle. I, too, was once in the Navy and now am currently serving with the 512th at Dover. She joined me on my last UTA weekend, and I listened to multiple shows of yours to the point that I even made a mention of it to my first sergeant about the effectiveness of your blog. I feel like it could go a long way for some individuals in my unit. Thanks for everything that you've done and continued success on your journey. Your wingman and shipmate, Colin. Colin, what an amazing dude you are. So, obviously the fact that you took the time to reach out to me in support of your wife lets me know that you're probably very, very supportive of her as well. And so that is how we get this done. The journey is difficult. This is not an easy journey for anybody. And I can tell you, when you have support in the household, it's even that much better. And I agree, is that individuals in your unit could use the support. And so one of the things that we've talked about, as we talk about how we build this Operation Fat Dag, is that we're going to provide the support to the military member, but on top of that, we're going to reach a little deeper into the household, and anyone in the household who wants to be taken care of and join the program, we're going to work to cover that as well, so that the entire house gets healthy together. So that's the plan. So we're well on the way. So thank you for being a great supporter, Colin. Keep up the great work and give your wife another huge high five and keeping this thing going. Ebony writes in, says, Dear Mike, I just want to thank you for serving our country and all that you do for the Weight Watcher community. I just listened to episode 149, and it was exactly what I needed to hear. I am a lifetime and at goal. I'm about to hit my 6-month anniversary, and I'm really struggling with the freestyle program. I am one of the Weight Watchers that probably eats more processed food than I should, and this new program is forcing me to change that. You made a comment in that episode that people who follow Weight Watchers during December are rock stars. This really struck a chord with me, And I've given myself a pat on the back for my continued efforts, and I'm trying to be more compassionate as I figure out freestyle. I've lost 61 pounds using Weight Watchers, and I'm not giving up just because a new obstacle is in my way. Thank you again, Ebony. Ebony, congratulations. 61 pounds. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because you stayed focused, you stayed disciplined, you know why you're doing this, and above all, you wanted to get it done. That's the definition of a rock star. A rock star is someone who knows exactly what they need to do, and no matter what's going on, you find a way to prioritize you in the midst of all that. Now, you're right. We talked about freestyle on episode 149, and I told you that I've seen the reactions on both sides of the aisle. I see people who love it. I see people who aren't necessarily in love with it yet. And generally speaking, I got a lot of email on this topic, which is why I wanted to go back to this topic again 2 shows in a row. A lot of folks are admitting, folks who are not happy with the switch. I've gotten a couple people to admit the reason they're not happy is because they don't eat healthy and they're able to work the plan by not having a good, healthy, balanced diet, but they're still able to lose some weight. And that thought scares them, like it does me to some extent, is that in order to sustain this, is we really want you to get a foundation of some healthy eating, and the freestyle plan gives that foundation. So a lot of them are admitting that this is forcing them to really look at the foods that they're eating. And sure, you can be very successful eating very high point foods and a lot of processed foods and sticking with the program, but it requires a lot of discipline to stay with it long term. If you can make the switch to a healthier lifestyle and build a foundation of healthy eating into your daily diet, then the long-term results will be much easier to maintain because you're eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. Now again, you've lost 61 pounds on Weight Watchers, so you know the program works. And by you saying that you're not giving up just because there's an obstacle in the way is what'll keep you moving, keep you there, and that'll get you to goal. Keep in mind, you're a rock star. And if you're listening to this in December, you're absolutely a rock star. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to catch this as a replay in January, well, then you're a rock star too because you're joined and you're ready to go. So not giving up is the key. Ebony knows it. And we just know that, change is good. If the program never changed, you know the stories, right? If the program never changed, we would not have the tools that we have today to be successful. We would go through this whole process, and as the food industry works very hard to dig into our pockets to make food that is profitable for them, and they completely ignore our health in the process, if we don't change to combat that message, we're doomed. So we've got to stay ahead of them and teach ourselves how to eat and live healthy. So thank you for that. Somewhere near Seattle, Judy writes in and says, "Hi, Mike. First, let's start with a bravo moment. Since joining Weight Watchers for the umpteenth time since the early 80s, I've finally released 85 pounds, ridding myself of 2 medications, reducing my thyroid medication, and no longer suffering from arthritic knee pain. I have learned to move daily, walking a 5K or dancing my morning away with Zumba. I am truly enjoying the spoils of a healthier lifestyle thanks to the Weight Watcher Smart Points. My problem is my why. When I walked through the meeting doors on February 2nd, 2016, I was a size 22, 24, or 2X. I wanted to look awesome in clothes again and be able to walk without pain. I was very successful early on, accomplishing those goals within the first year. For the past 9 months, I have maintained my current weight, size 12 to 14. I am very proud of my weight loss efforts and happy with the way that I look. But I'm still about 10 pounds above my doctor's BMI. Maybe this is a complacency trap. I am very happy, feeling healthier than I have in 35 years, and I don't mind saying I think I look pretty awesome in my updated size smaller wardrobe. But then despondency set in. Call it freestyle. freely acknowledging that I don't change well. I have to admit, I am genuinely a volume eater who is struggling right now. The new list of 0 point foods just does not do it for me. They are not foods that I like. All of my go to foods and those that have successfully helped me maintain my current healthier weight, they all have points. But I must eat 7 less of them now. Now I feel restricted. Dare I say I feel like I'm being on a diet. Well, you know what that means. Fortunately, in just the past 2 days, I finally realized our new freestyle plan has actually created a new why for me. I want more points. I want to enjoy my favorite go-to foods that comes with maintenance and lifetime. Hence, I'm charging forward towards my goal. That will be the answer to my volume eating that isn't currently happy with 0 point white meat, poultry, fish, or even eggs. I now have a happy heart in knowing that's what's ahead for me, and I'll work hard to achieve it. Thank you, Mike, for your service to our country, your inspiration to our Connect community, and also for your efforts through Operation Fat Dag. Your Wise Advice podcast has seen me through many challenging moments. Thank you for believing in us. I wish you good focus. Again, Judy. Judy, I loved the mental adjustment that happened in the middle of your email. I'm almost guessing that as you started writing it out, you probably wanted to go through all the negative, and then somewhere in the middle you kind of clicked and said, "Okay, I got this." You're down 85 pounds. Never ever has that happened on accident. So you deliberately took control of your life. You got off 2 medications. You reduced your thyroid medication. You're no longer suffering from arthritis in your knees. You're moving daily. You're walking a 5K. You have a healthy lifestyle. Don't necessarily work to satisfy a plan. Work to satisfy you. Your doctor has a goal set for you. You have 10 more pounds to your BMI. Continue to consult with them. At some point, as you balance your life, the two of you are going to come to an agreement. And if that agreement is 10 more pounds, it is. But at some point, you can honestly say, "Doc, this is what I'm doing. I feel great about it." And if you're truly happy and you're truly at the point where you say, "I don't want to lose any more weight. I've lost 85 pounds. I've maintained. I've got off my medication." And so if you're working to satisfy a plan, then all of a sudden it no longer becomes fun. And it becomes a challenge for you to continue to satisfy the plan. If you're working to satisfy you, you've done that. You've lost 85 pounds. You look amazing. You feel amazing. You're walking a 5K. You're dancing every morning with Zumba. You're down 85 pounds. You're off medication. Isn't that the goal? I mean, it doesn't matter what the scale says at that point, does it? As much as the next person, I want you to get to your goal. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to relay to you is that if all the amazing things that you've reversed in your life and you've completely changed your life, if you lose sight of all the amazing things you've done because you can't satisfy a plan requirement that you never saw coming, think about when you started this thing back in February. If I would have said to you, let's go ahead and lose 95 pounds, you might have said, "No, it ain't happening." And then as you push forward and you got all the way down to 85 pounds, what an amazing accomplishment. An amazing accomplishment that got you through so much of life. And you've been through so many ups and downs, and you persevered with deliberate focus, effort, and dedication. That is goal. If you continue to live healthy and doing everything that you're doing, you're going to find out that your body is going to settle in a place that you and your doctor both agree satisfies a weight requirement, satisfies a mental requirement, and satisfies a health requirement. If you get all 3 of those going in the right direction, you've got this. Now go back and listen to episode 149. If you haven't already, that's the episode where I first talk about my thoughts on freestyle, and you and I agree in a lot of ways. When I first saw the list of all the 0 point foods, my first reaction was very similar to the ones that I see of people who are not happy with the change. And my first reaction was, well, I don't eat any of that stuff. So you're adjusting my point value, but you're not adjusting the foods that I'm going to eat. But the reality is I'm going to now look at them, and we talked about it in episode 149. I will never have a 0 point meal, but I can reduce my meals by a point or two here and there. I can increase my activity by a point here or there. There will be days where I can leave 7 or 8 points, roll over some points, and I can continue on a healthy, happy balance to get it done. Just like you, when you get to maintenance and lifetime, you're going to get 6 points back where you can start adjusting on how you want to work the rest of your plan. I love how you worded it in the end of your email. You're going to work hard to get the goal, because when you do, you get those points back. Because your body doesn't need all of them, and your body doesn't need, or your body now understands what being healthy is. You're moving more. You can afford, you don't want to be in a weight loss mode. You want to be in a maintenance mode. So keep charging towards the goal. I say this all the time. Goal, when you get there, it feels like nothing you've ever experienced. I want you to run as fast as you can. I want you to run as hard as you can. I want you to stay as focused as possible to get there. There is nothing like it. There is nothing like walking in, stepping on the scale, confidently knowing that you don't want it to be down. I believe you can do it. It takes focus. It takes discipline. Judy, you lost 85 pounds. You clearly have focus and discipline. Go get it done. Christy out of Overland Park, Kansas writes in and says, hi, Dag. I wanted to say thanks for your inspiration. I just found your podcast a couple of weeks ago. I'm on episode 55. I'm trying to catch up and find myself eating less while I'm listening because I'm focused on listening. Thanks to your podcast and my meeting group, I'm getting big things done. I have owned your, if you're out of points, stop eating points, as my new mantra. This week, I hit 50.2 pounds. Okay. Wow. Thanks again, and good focus. Christy from Overland Park, Kansas. Christy, 50.2 pounds. Congratulations on that amazing accomplishment. You just heard me talk about it. If you've lost 50.2 pounds, you can do whatever you want in this journey. It's extreme focus on getting it done, which you've done. And I like what you said. If you're long as you're listening to the podcast, it's difficult to eat and listen at the same time. It kind of counteracts each other. So keep plugging in. The mantra, if you're at a point, stop eating points. Boy, is that like, we call it WhysAdvice, right? The acronym WYOOPSEP, WhysAdvice. Let's call this WhysAdvice 2.0. Because now when you're at a point, stop eating points, but you can still have a lot of food, where when I first came up with the phrase, it really meant you could have green beans or an apple, and maybe a couple other things. But now when you're out of points, you can still have a chicken breast for dinner. You can still have a chicken salad. You can still have, a fish. There's a lot of things you can reintroduce as an evening meal that are 0 points. So now it's, it used to be when you're at a point, stop eating points. And in my case, that meant go to bed at 5 p.m. Now I actually might be able to stay up a little bit because there are things that I can eat, and I will learn to adjust to get the food volume in. So again, 50.2 pounds. Congratulations. And when you get to your goal and you roll into your lifetime, you can adjust your point range and add in what your body needs. That's why from time you hit goal to the time you hit lifetime, you can then make the adjustment for how many points your body needs. We give you a few weeks to figure out how many you need. And some people need 3, some people need 4, some people need 5, 6, 7. You get to figure that out during the time that you're in that lifetime transition. So continue working the plan and absolutely get it done. Out of Valparaiso, Indiana, Deb writes in and says, hi, Fat Dag. So my first week on freestyle felt anything but free. I struggled trying to figure out whether I was supposed to eat all of my points, the dailies anyway, and I certainly wasn't wanting to tap into my weeklies. Not tracking didn't seem right for me. Eating gobs and gobs of 0 point foods just because they were 0 points didn't seem right for me either. I wasn't comfortable at all with the changes. So I did what I've been doing since August. I scanned foods at the grocery. I probably scanned every can of kidney beans at Walmart. I was looking for those with the least amount of points. I made healthy choices on most foods. I weighed or I measured portions. I ate 0 point foods when it was my choice to eat them and not just because I could. I tracked everything, and I mean everything, smart points, 0 points, water, and the 4 ginger snap cookies, they're small, I indulged in with a cup of hot tea. When I walked into the meeting room today, my leader knew that I was uncomfortable. I had messaged her my disclaimer yesterday saying I had no idea what to expect, but I knew I was doing what I had been doing all along. No one was more shocked to me to see the scale reward my diligence with a 3.6 pound loss, putting me at 44.2 since August. Wow. Now, here's a strong lesson I need to learn: trust the process. I don't understand the process sometimes, most times, but I can trust it. Just like I trust this chair to hold me, or I trust that my car will start. If I'm doing what I know works, or has worked for me in the past 4 months, I can continue to do that with the little upgrades to the system that Weight Watchers has made. I am gratefully surprised that at 65 years old, the weight is coming off so steadily. But then, why am I surprised? I've changed my eating to more whole foods and less processed foods and junk. My consumption of sugar is extremely low, except in the ginger snap cookies, but a girl has to have some treats, right? Like you said so many times, Fat Dag, weight loss takes dedication and focus. When I don't have that, I can eat like a farm animal that's being fattened up for the market, and I really don't care. I had to get and keep my head in the game. And boy, do I wrestle with that at times. Having the great wingmen in the Facebook group, the connectors, the people in my meeting room, and you all in my corner has been a huge blessing and a help and a lifesaver. Thank you so much, all of you. Respectfully, with love, Deb out of Valparaiso, Indiana. Well, Deb, so let me see if I can summarize your email here. It says, you followed the plan and you lost weight. Congratulations. I'm joking with you a little bit, but we have to understand at the very root of all this is that's the piece we forget. The plan works. We know that. And if you look at, there's a handful of Weight Watcher ambassadors that have to put a disclaimer in their post, and it says something along the lines of people following the Weight Watcher plans can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. I mean, that's a message. You'll see it on Connect. That's a message that is told to be put in there, and you have to believe that was vetted by the legal team. You can't ask someone to say that. You can't make that claim if you can't come back and prove it. So we have confidence in knowing that the plan works. Trust the process. Now, this new plan, same thing. And I love how you phrased it. It's just a couple minor tweaks. For the most part, it's very similar. It's still smart points. There's no major earth-shattering change. It just is encouraging folks to eat a little healthier. You did that. You're doing that. And oh wait, you lost 3.6 pounds at 65 years old, 44.2 pounds since August. That's incredible work. Now let's talk about, early on you said you struggled trying to figure out whether or not you were supposed to eat your points, all of your dailies, and you certainly didn't want to tap into your weeklies. Let's work on that. Your weekly points are part of the process that we just talked about, the plan that we just described that we know works. If they weren't part of the plan, if you weren't supposed to eat them, they wouldn't be included. So your weekly points are absolutely there to be used. Now think about the next aspect of this with your weeklies. And so as you eat more and more 0 point foods, you're able to roll over points into your next day. Where do those points go? They go into your weekly balance. So if you're putting points in there, they kind of all get jumbled. So I want you and encourage you to dig in there, use them as you need them because you are doing the hard work to put some in there on your own. That thing, other folks talk about what you can do is people are, I see all kinds of crazy things. People are changing their weigh-in day. They're changing don't overthink this. Go into it knowing the program works. And if you also, if your weigh-in day is on Friday and you want points for the weekend, dig into your weeklies, roll some points over on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to get that back up so that you have later in the week, you have more points. So go ahead and use the plan as it was designed. It sounds like when you did that, you had an amazing week at 3.6. I love the disclaimer that you sent to your leader saying, I have no idea what to expect. I think a lot of times when we don't go into this thing with a ton of expectations, we allow our brain to be free. We allow ourselves to get to the point where we're not so focused on the details, we're focused on the big picture. The big picture is eating better, working out just a little bit. And I don't even want to use the word working out. I really want to say we're doing some sort of activity. When I say working out, the assumption is you got to put on gym shoes, you got to put on spandex, you got to go to the gym. When the reality is you could walk into the grocery store and one of the tricks I tell people when I can tell that they don't want to work out, and it works very well during the Christmas season, is if you walk into a store, any store, you have to hit all four corners before you leave. I don't care if you're walking in just for a gallon of milk. Walk in, hit all four corners, and get out. If you do that consistently, you're slowly adding steps to your day. You're adding activity. That is what keeps us all going in the game. So keeping your head in the game is key. You're right, the Facebook group, the Wise Wingman group, wisewingman.com will automatically push you into that. That's an amazing community of about 3,000 folks who are listeners of the show, who are just kind of interacting with each other. I pop in on occasion to say, hey, I try and read a lot what's going on, but generally that's a place for you. I purposely made it a safe community. We boot out people who come in with the wrong attitude, and they're there for the wrong reason, because I don't want that to be anything but a place for you to find one more level of support. Connect does an amazing job. We know that. This is a little more active. So you can, or not active, but interactive. So go ahead, go to wisewingman.com, get in there. But don't forget Connect. Don't forget your meeting room. You clearly, Deb, you clearly have an understanding of what it takes to get this done. You're calling in all the stops. You're bringing out every single tool. And that is why at 65 years old, you're down 44.2 pounds since August. And we absolutely want to celebrate that. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on WhysAdvice podcast, send in your celebrations, your comments, and your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can email in directly at onair@fatdag.com. I want you to send in your email celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. As you know, this show 100% revolves around you telling your story so that somebody else listening who believes for the very first time that they can do this, they need to see that it's possible. You don't get that vision outside of this community. It's just in our society, that vision is very hard to capture. So when you email me in and you tell me your story and I share it to thousands of folks who are listening, someone else hears it and instantly they don't feel like they're alone in the journey. They feel like they can do this. That's what got you to goals, that belief that you can do it. I believe that you can do it. I'm willing to walk with you. I'm willing to believe in you up to the point where you believe in yourself. Then we believe together and we reach back. We find someone else who's struggling and we show them the way. We show them that it's possible. We do that through this podcast. We do it through Connect. We do it through the Facebook group. Once they see that it's possible, you can see the light bulb turn on. You can see they get it. And that is the point. We say they're at goal, but the scale just doesn't know it. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Coolio. So, fun stuff, right? Um, let's see. Alan, thank you for that. Um, Still hanging out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So, Andrea, thank you for the thumbs up. Very, very cool. Yeah, episode 150 is in the books. Man, can you believe it's at 150? Um, so Lisa said, I've been struggling, tired of living the same yearly failure over and over. Lisa, that was me for 20 years. So what I'm telling you is that you can do it. You have to go through and I don't know the exact episode, but I believe the title of the podcast is, do you want to make goal, or do you want to have cake, or do you want to make goal? And so you kind of have to, you don't have to get it right all the time, but you at least got to ask the question every time. Let's go back to Santa. You at least got to ask the question every single time. And so, it doesn't take long for you to start understanding that you have control over this journey. That's it. No one else does. No one can do this for you. It's 100% you getting it done. So I would ask, and it's what I do. If you follow any of my social media, you know that I don't struggle. I have great days, and I have days that are just good. But I've removed struggle along with this journey out of the vocabulary, because that when I say I struggle, it puts me in the mindset that this is too hard. This is not hard. It's doable. I have amazing days. I have on-plan days. I have amazing days that that aren't on plan. I understand the big picture. I understand the impact of that. And I'm very much committed to the process, committed to changing my life and keeping it consistent. So you got this, Lisa. Thousands of people in this group have done this. You can do it. We're not special in that way. We're special, but we're not special in that way. Stephen is Mr. Eat Your Weeklies for sure. Woohoo! Stacy's still here. Woohoo! Deb, hello. Yeah, Ellen, we are learning this whole freestyle thing all together. Diane, thank you for being here. Yeah, Brenda, I'm ready to get to goal. No cake. Yep. And so let me just capitalize on that, or re-explain that. You have to ask yourself at every meal, do I want cake or do I want to make goal? The thing that I want you to understand, though, is you don't always have to get the answer correct. But you have to understand that you can say, today I actually do want cake. And then you have to understand what the implications of doing that are. But the fact that you made the conscious decision is what'll be okay. Now, if you don't ask and you just have it anyways, that's where the issue comes in. And so more times than not, you have to get it right. You don't have to get it right 100% of the time. So Angie said, yeah, that is good to know. You're going to eat all your weeklies this week and you don't weigh in until Saturday. So yeah, absolutely eat them. And then what you can do is you can then later in the week, you can bank some. So that even if you go, I'm not a fan, but even if you go negative in your tracker, you can bank points to get your tracker to go, you can bank points later in the week, and that negative number will start climbing back down to 0. So that's how you can work it. And then fit points as well. David, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Brenda, you're very welcome. Let's see. Kristen's got to find the new batteries for your scale. Kristen, hey, here's my plug. Go to right now. It's $79. It's the Nokia Health Body Plus scale. Promo code DAG20. They'll ship it to you. It's the one that I use. I use a different version, but it's the same brand that I use, and it's awesome. And it charges in every night. No batteries needed. You charge it, and it auto, if you want it to, you can set it up to auto. It automatically puts stuff in your phone, which is cool. You have a history of it, but it auto tweets it if you want it. If you want it to, it doesn't do it automatically unless you specifically tell it to. LaDonna, you told your BFF about Fat Dag. Woohoo! You can do this. So how cool is that? The week before Christmas, we're talking about how focused we are. So Stacy, we talked about this at the opening of the show. Stacy's asking, what is a typical food day for me? Well, this week has not been typical because we've been between hospitals and the stuff we got going on. This week has not been a typical week, and I'm okay with that. If you listen to the podcast at all, you know that my mantra is do your best. This week, my best is just there's a lot of different things that are my best this week because of all the things we got going on. But a typical day is, I love being at work because on a typical day I'll get up and I'll have a protein bar and some fruit. When I get to work, we have a fruit tray at work. I'll have an apple or a banana at work. Lunchtime, I'm either going to go to Jimmy John's, Chick-fil-A, or Subway most days because it's near the office. Um, Jimmy John's is a 7 point. Subway, I got my 8 points, and Chick-fil-A ends up being 9 points. Sometime in the middle of the afternoon, I may grab another protein bar depending on what I had earlier. And then for dinner, it's going to be whatever we're having here, whatever I have left for points. But it's not about the food. It's about understanding that there's a process to it. And I'm not a big foodie, so I'm not making all these fancy dinners. So if you're looking at me for food advice, wrong guy. I'm plan advice, and I'm why do you want to do this advice? But you can make any food work. So, Lori says, I feel like you've been to your shrink. Well, cool. I'm glad that works. Um, this is a mental process, isn't it? I mean, you really got to stay committed to this mentally, and that's the key. So, good job. Lisa, you're very, very welcome for that. Lori, hello. Karen says hello. Brenda from Cincy, hello. Let's see. Yeah, so Lisa, if you're an all or nothing person, let me just let you know right now. Let's see. Twitter's chiming in. If you're an all or nothing person, this plan, I'm not trying to be negative on you. This plan is not going to work for that mindset. You cannot do this 100% perfectly for the rest of your life. And if you could, you would be miserable in the social environment. Because, every wedding you'd go to, it would just be a nightmare. So there's some balance that has to be required. And so therefore, all or nothing doesn't work. It's just not going to work. And the quicker you can accept that and say, okay, so if all or nothing doesn't work this plan, then I have to understand that, okay, I'm allowed to have some ups and downs. Got it. More downs than ups. But you're going to have days that are great. You're going to have days that are good. And so on the great days, you celebrate, you rock on. On the good days, you just go, okay, regroup. I want to go back to a great day. So, Jackie, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here, for sure. Stacy says, I turned your entire meeting room into a Fat Dag Wise Advice podcast and Wise Wingman Facebook page. Cool. It's good to have support. I couldn't have done this without support. So, Gen Z checking in on Twitter. Very cool. Hello. Kat says, just an adjustment. I like freestyle and you'll make it work for me. You have to. Deb says, the asking helps slow the mindless eating. That's exactly it. So as long as you ask and you make a conscious... So I said it in one of the earlier podcasts, is if you choose it, track it, enjoy it, and move on. If it's choosing you, that's when we got to reassess. And so if you ask the question ahead of time, then you get to make that choice. If you make the choice, you're going to win every single time, even if it's the wrong choice, because you made the choice. Ellen says, change made you reach goal, and now you're 5 pounds below. Focus continues daily. Very nice. Tammy says, hello, quick hello. Hello. Vicky says, love, hi, listening from Arizona tonight instead of Delaware. Love the time difference and love the new plan. Boom. I do 2 meetings, and so one of my meetings, 100% of the people, I think, roughly, almost all of them loved it. And the other meeting, it was just the opposite. So I think more than not, people are very, very happy with it. And that's cool. It was done the right way. It was, obviously, the deal. It's research-based and based on science, all that good stuff. So glad you like it. Glad you're rocking it. Over on Instagram, just so you know, Instagram, the one thing, Instagram times out at at 1 hour. So we're coming up on that 1 hour mark. Minute 27 for Instagram. I'm not going to refire Instagram up. So if you're on Instagram, switch to Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. No show tomorrow night. Got a lot going on tomorrow night. Positive of that. And then we'll work on one Wednesday and see how the rest of the week goes. Twitter will remind you and let you know when the next show is for that. Um, yeah, so LaDonna says, I love that thought. Do I want goal or do I want pizza? Ask yourself every time. And like I said, you don't have to get it right all the time. You just got to ask. Let's see. Angie says, I am not sure that I'm eating enough points a day. Maybe I need to eat all of my dailies, but I find it hard to eat the points now because the foods that I ate for points like chicken and corn and beans are now zero. Just a mindset, a little shift is we don't call them free, we call them zero. Slight distinction. The reason they're zero is because we still want you to be accountable to them, and the way we want you to be accountable to them is by knowing that you're satisfied with them. So they're zero, not free. But yeah, so bank them and roll them over because the reality is there's going to be a day where you're going to want them. So you can probably do this for 3, 4, 5 weeks of eating 0 point foods a lot, but at some point something's going to come up and you're like, wait a minute, I can't do this anymore. It's at that point when you reach into the bank, of what you've been rolling over for the week, and you're going to like it. All right, Instagram is gone. Let's see. Nikki says, big non-scale victory for me this week. Ordered a dress online, had to send it back 3 different times. Each time ordering a smaller dress. I'm down 5 dress sizes. It took me ordering this dress to finally see my 40-pound loss. So that's very, very important for a couple different reasons. You're going to make me get the book out. The book. The reason that's important is so when we get to the point where we decide it's time to lose weight or get healthy or whatever we're trying to do, if we don't change our clothing as we start to lose weight, when we go to that mirror looking for validation, we see the clothes. We see, we don't necessarily notice us. And so I am a big fan of, if something is even the slightest bit too big, it's got to go. And you got to get something new. And when you put on something new you've never worn before that fits right, it looks amazing. So, got you written down, Nikki. Very, very good. Congratulations. Way to go. Lisa says, what do I get at Subway? I do ham and American cheese on white bread. Sometimes I'll cut it in half and only have half the bread and move all the stuff to the side. Sometimes I'll eat the whole thing, depending on what I'm feeling like. But nothing elaborate. I don't get any chips and no cookies, and I get a water or the lemonade. It's just fuel. I'm just there to get lunch. So it's not an ordeal. Just there to get lunch. Yep. Kathy says need to refocus. Yep. Yeah, lots of focus and planning and mental. Lisa checking in from New Jersey. Hello. A lot of you like the chicken chop salad at Subway. Never had it. Salad and I aren't exactly friends. I mean, I can do it, but we're not super good friends yet. I'm working on it. Yeah, Santa glasses. Where'd they go? I can't. The Santa glasses are just. There's no lenses, so I can't see. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Now we got a little combination of both here. Robin says, hey. Lisa says, I'm in a slump. My mom broke her hip, and my life has been on a roller coaster for over a month. Lisa, did you email that in to me the other day? Was that your email? I think I replied back to it, right? Yeah, so just a second over there. And so, Lisa, yeah, if you email me, you got a lot going on. And so there's a point in this journey where you have to just focus on doing your best. And your best some days is just waking up and just getting out of bed to some extent. Once a new normal sets in, once you start recognizing new routines, at that point you want to make sure those routines turn into healthy. So the thing, someone asked on Twitter is so that what I, am I off medication? And yeah, I was on blood pressure medicine for a long time. Once I lost the weight, it was easy. The doc took me off it, so that was very, very fun. So, um, let's see. Lots of Subway talk. Subway's getting good plugs tonight. Let's see. Kristen, if you're talking about the scale, the only reason I mention it now is that promo code works for now only till the December 20th. So after December 20th, the promo code goes away. So you'll save $20 ordering it now. That's the only reason. I suspect once the new year hits, we'll do some more partnerships, and they may give me another one. A complete guess. It's my hope actually, but it's a hope and guess on my end. Um, yeah. So what I love about Twitter is Twitter has all kinds of people who just are interesting. Um, Therese, hello. Let's see, Carrie. Yep, rounds are done. Welcome back to Facebook. Um, well, Ellen, not really. So it's not a clarification thing. So typically, the foods that are on the 0 point list are foods that we are not tending to overeat with. So there is no limit to them. But what there is I mean, you can tell if you're eating too much of something. So what we don't want you to do is, or what I think, I guess it's my opinion, right? What we don't want you to do is you know, feel like you need to get out the scale to weigh your chicken breast to make sure it's 3 ounces versus 3.1. But you know the difference between 3 ounces of chicken and 15 ounces of chicken, right? You can. If I put two out and said one's 3, one's 15, you'll know the difference between the two of them. If I put one that said this is 3 and this is 3.1, it may be harder for you to guess. But between 3 and 15, so we know 15 is too much, and 3 may not be enough. So somewhere in the middle, eat until you're satisfied, and the stress goes away of is it 3.1, is it 3.2, and that's the intent. So, um, yeah, Stacy, 30 pounds. Depending on your height, 30 pounds is a huge difference. 10 to 15 pounds is a clothing size for most people. So, congratulations, and way to clean out your closet. That's important for you to do to get that done. Yeah, Brenda says when you listen every day when you're at a point, stop eating points. Yeah. Lori, closet full of clothes. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. No, and get rid of them. No, Lisa, no mayo on my sandwich. Nope. Um, let's see. So Angie says I went to buy new jeans Saturday. When I started Weight Watchers, I was wearing a size 24 in jeans. Had to go all the way down to size 16. I couldn't believe how well the new jeans looked on me and the confidence boost that it gave me. Um, Angie got it written down. Way to go. Great, great job. Andrea, I love that. First Christmas in a long time that you felt in control and you're able to wear cute clothes. So this is number 2 for me. I'd made goal last year. Um, there's nothing better than Christmas, waking up and getting people giving you clothes and you just know they fit. That was always the stress in Christmas. I would get some nice stuff for Christmas and I would never want to try it on because I'm like, yeah, it's not going to fit. Didn't have that last year, not having it this year. Awesome. Um, let's see. I think I'm way behind on comments. Um, Gotcha. So Lisa, so someone else, so Lisa, so in the next couple days, I'm gonna have a podcast that talks about a scenario similar to yours, and someone's getting it done. So that's kind of the point of the show is that there's someone else going through everything that you've got going on. There's someone else that's going through something very similar, and still staying focused and still getting it done. So that's the point that when I say I believe in you, that is that when I say I believe in it, it's because I believe that so many people can do it. And so we've seen it demonstrated over and over and over again. And Twitter's asking what the book is for. And so I ask you, I say, what's your non-scale victories? Because you want to jot them down. And so I write them down for you. So I just, when I see something that's inspiring and incredible, I just go ahead and write it down. And, so the other day, Sabrina hit 10% on December 9th. Lisa hit goal on December 9th. Let's see. Julie biked outdoors for 12 miles in Michigan on November 28th. Let's see what else I have. All kinds of. Chris, I haven't seen Chris in a while. Chris is 54,000 steps in 3 days. So, yeah. So the book is just me writing down some of your amazing successes. Karen, good night. Happy Hanukkah as well. And Merry Christmas. I agree. Scrolling up, scrolling. Right, so that's what Deb says. Never binged on beans and celery. Typically, that's not the case. Um, yeah, and Ellen says some people can eat a lot of fruit and some can gain with it. So once you start knowing, let the scale be your guide, right? If you're happy with your results, keep doing what you're doing. If you're not happy with your results, then make some slight adjustments. But it's a lot easier to try new foods when there's 0 points, right? If we're going to charge you 5 points for green beans, you're not eating them. Um, yeah, Deb, I saw this the other night. So Deb says, I used to binge on eggs, but they were all contained in cupcakes. Yeah, that's the issue. It's not the eggs' fault. Let's see. Willa says, having a baked potato and salad bar potluck tomorrow, you'll be eating a lot of salad. You can do it. Good plan. You're already thinking ahead, which is good. Yeah, so Stephen makes a great point. Stephen says overeating 0 point foods will be less cool to most after 2 weeks or so. That's probably more true than we know. Is that right now it's like it's like a kid in a candy store, but a month from now I'll be like, okay, and you're just working it into your plan healthy and happily, and you're not binging on celery because you can. So I agree, Steve. Good point. Great input. Shannon's here. Hello. Lisa says I did lose 28 pounds on the program and I've gained 2.5 back. Yeah. So if you lost 28, you can lose 2.5 again. You've already done it once. Pretty easy. You got it. Just stay focused. Diane says at my niece's birthday yesterday, she asked where the rest of you went. Down another size, now size 8, down from a 22W. I think we got you in the book a couple times, Diane. But when you keep having great success, we got to write it down. Cool. Turn the page. Yep, Steven, time to get work done and go home. Thanks for being here, man. Good to see you as always. Chrissy said overeating on corn used to stress her out but now you're enjoying it, right? So yeah, when corn was 3 points, I wasn't gonna eat an ear of corn for 3 points. I could have another piece of chicken, and now it's like, okay, I'll add it back in. So can't wait for summer. That'll be great. Grapes, I got it. Scrolling through. Stacy went from 18 to 20 today, now at 10. Whoop, whoop. Lori says someone told me they had legs like yours when they were 2. That's funny. Well, yeah, Lisa, that doesn't count as celery when you stuff it with peanut butter or cheese. That's funny. Scrolling through. Cool. All right, looks like we made it to the bottom. Looks like we caught up on Facebook. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I meant what I said during episode 149, and even a little bit tonight is here we are on a random Monday night, a week before Christmas. You're tuned into a podcast. You're still checking in on Connect. You're still getting it done. You're focused. You can do this. It's that simple. You're in it. It may not be perfect this week. There may be the next 3 or 4 days are going to be challenging, but the fact that you were here the week before means the week after you'll be back. It's less important what you do this week than what you do next week. Stay focused to the plans. Do your best this week, whatever that is. Come back next week. Do your best again, and absolutely get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Twitter, just piping in saying hey, but thank you absolutely for being here. We'll get this one out tomorrow. Got a meeting. If you're in Indianapolis, I have a meeting tomorrow night. You can visit me there. But always, again, just going to plug it one more time. Twitter is the place to go to get the alerts for when we do a show. And you'll always know when the next show is if you're on Twitter. Otherwise, I'll release this to the app later this evening, and you'll have something to listen to all day tomorrow. So keep up the great work. Have a great night. I wish you good focus for sure. Good night.